Hi there, this is a short video on spinal segmentation using the wall. So you're going to set yourself up against the wall and in legs up the wall. So you're going to come to flip around, have your legs up on the wall, and your knees are going to be bent. So you're not right up against the wall with your butt up against the wall. Leave some space between your butt and the wall, okay? So this movement is going to start to invite some movement into the pelvis, and then we're going to increase that and then go up the spine, okay? So wherever your feet feel comfortable is great. What you're going to think about is your hip bones in the front are going to tip towards your belly button, and you're going to peel the tailbone up. It's like you want to bring, it's like you're doing this with your pelvis. You're tipping the pelvis, peeling the tailbone off the floor, and bringing the front of the hip bones towards the belly. Okay? But we're not lifting up. So I don't want you to press, think about this as a lift up to the ceiling. This is a rolling onto the back of the pelvis, and then you're going to tip the pelvis forward so that you're more rolling on to the tailbone. Hip bones are going to come towards your thigh, and there's going to be a space under your low back. Okay, and then you're going to roll back. Hip bones are going to come towards your belly. Tailbone's going to come up, and then reverse that. Okay, so it's not about what's happening in the upper body, although things will travel because you're moving your pelvis. The spine will take the upper body with it. Reverse that. Press down into the low back, curl your tailbone up, press the hip bones to the belly. And we're not doing a lot of pushing with the legs. The legs are just in position. We're letting this really just be the pelvis. Think about the pelvis is moving around these leg bones that are in this socket here. Okay? We're just getting the pelvis to move around the head of the femurs, the heads of the femurs. So you're going to pair this with a breath. Inhale as you tip down onto your tailbone. Exhale as you bring the hip bones to the belly, like squeezing the air out as the pelvis comes up. Inhale. Exhale. So really, really thinking about just the pelvis doing this movement. Tip away. Tailbone kind of tips away. Hip bones go towards the thighs. Space at the low back. Press down into the low back. Tip the pelvis up. Bring the tailbone up. Send the front of the hip bones down towards the bottom of the ribs. One more. Inhale. Exhale. And you can do this for quite a number of minutes. And where I want you to go with this is eventually be able to move the pelvis in an increasing range over time. So you might feel like parts are stuck or you're not going very far in one direction or another. That's okay. You're going to start to shift that over time. Okay? So that's part one. Part two is you're going to peel the tailbone off the floor, roll the pelvis, keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling. Now you're going to press into the wall, but I want you to think about now the spine, and you're peeling each bone off the mat one by one, and you're sending your pelvis upward towards the ceiling. So you're still going up to whatever up is for you. You might want to walk your feet up the wall. And then as you come back down, you're going to think about each bone segmentally from the top of the spine, rolling down the spine, breathing. Roll, roll, roll. And imagine each bone is hitting the mat one bone at a time. Okay? And So you're not letting sections go down at a time. You're really trying to let each bone touch the mat. So really squeeze your belly in to round through to the back of the spine. Squeeze to the front, from the front to round to the back. Each bone coming down. Down the lower spine. Keep squeezing the belly in to let the spine kind of unfurl all the way down to the tailbone. And then send the pelvis forward. So front of the hip bones go to the thighs, space at the low back. And we're going to repeat that. So you're going to tip the pelvis, peel the tailbone off, and then one bone at a time is going to lift up towards off the floor, off the mat. And you could go as high as you like, keeping your arms and shoulders relaxed. And then when you come back, think about melting the spine down. The drop, 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 drop. Think about the spine dropping each bone at a time, down, down, down to the mat, to the floor. Breathe. Squeeze your belly in to the lower abdominals to round through that lower spine, all the way down to the pelvis, and then send it forward. Come back to neutral. And then you'll repeat that another few times and see how that goes. When you're done, come on up to standing and see how you feel. But just take your time to come into standing after you do that, because quite a lot can shift in that movement, and it's such a great movement for freeing up the whole spine, which then supports all of the major joints and the diaphragm and the rib cage and a lot of things. So if you have questions, just reach out, but have fun playing with that.